This Daytona Trucks and Xfinity Series Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
And welcome in to the final edition of the Daytona week here on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Man, okay, so we were just talking about it right before we jumped on the air. The best laid plans of Daytona and men sometimes just don't coincide with what we want, Cody. What? We don't say the R word, but for God's sakes, it's there's wet stuff falling from the sky over here in California, and it's the same over in Daytona, Florida. What the hell's going on in this world?
Yeah, it seems to be all across the country. We had some wet stuff too, but ours just is white. But yeah, boy, I don't know. It's hopefully, Rod, it will stay away and let our plans go as they should. If you didn't hear, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or Truck and ARCA rather, practices were supposed to be today. They got canceled. They're trying to dry the track now. Hopefully we will still have our duels this evening. Those are going to be really, really exciting duels. Boy, yeah, there's guys working their way to get in. By the way, congratulations to Jimmy Johnson, Mr. 7-time. He's locked into the race. Martin Truex Jr. also locked in. Our champions don't need provisionals, Rod. They'll just race their way in. So shout out to them for that. But yeah, hopefully everything will get dried up. Hopefully Sunday will start to clear up as well, and things can proceed as regularly scheduled.
Well, it's funny because I was talking in the, I believe it was the In-Between Media Discord as well. And if you haven't joined that already, join that because that's a lot of fun as well. But I think I was talking about how, Jimmy Johnson was on the bubble, and they were like, on the bubble for what? And I was like, to be in the top 10. They was like, oh, Rod, you're just getting greedy now. And I was like, well, hell yeah, I'm getting greedy. Like, this is what I wanted to happen. Like, I want Jimmy Johnson in the top 10. I want him to be fighting for a pole. But right. Yeah, it was just a little bit greedy on that end.
Well, once you get a little, you start to want more. So your top 10 bet does live, Rod. Who knows? Maybe he gets it done.
Yes, indeed. Sorry for the static. Just moving around my microphone. Like I said, it's just been one of those days. It's been a crazy day. It's all wet. It's all crazy. As Will's saying, hope you boys are staying dry. I mean, I am, but I wasn't earlier. Joe's Flacco's. Cheers, boys. Cheers for sure. This season, no Majeski hate deal. Can't really.
Yeah, we're not going to agree to that deal, but we'll see. He is the reigning champion, so shout out to him.
Yes, indeed. TK checking in saying congrats, Rod, for JJ. Thank you very much. I loved his expression when he knew he was in. He was pretty excited. It was great. Nice,
honest reaction of, oh my God, all this work we put in and we actually fucking made it. So this, Rod, does mean the Coke 600 will be JJ's 700th career start. You think that's it? Think that's where he hangs it up?
I don't know. See, I'm sad because if I were, I would know that the very monumental task of doing that would be great. It'd be a great way to hang it up, right? You don't want to hang it up on 701. You sure as hell don't want to hang it up on 705. Like, I think 700 is a nice round number.
It is, but the same. I'd like to see him keep going. So we'll see. Who knows?
I'd like to see 8. Let's go 9. I'm greedy. Let's just watch him go 10,000 races and be happy with that. But speaking of racing, football's gone. NASCAR's here. You can head over now to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona because we have got a special surprise for you. You can sign up for our free Daytona 500 contest. You can win what, Cody? $100 in cold hard cash and a $100 SGPN gift card that you can use to purchase any of the fine Racing Gambling Podcast stuff that we got, up to and including the Race Officials Are Terrorists t-shirt, which is a hot item right now. And there's also some bonus prizes in there as well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona. Sign up right now. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a ton of fun. Go sign up. Again, it's free, and you might win some stuff. So nothing too bad about that. It's nothing crazy. All you do, pick the race winner, and you're entered. So got to love it.
Yes, indeed. All right. Different format than we're used to, guys. In the past, we've had a separate episode for both Xfinity and both trucks. Because of the truncated schedule this season, we have to combine them into one. So you are going to get trucks and Xfinity in one. I know it's less picks for each, but I will say that we still have, maybe not this particular race, but in future races it will be. So we're going to do both Xfinity and trucks in the same episode. And we'll see how that works going forward. But yeah, for this episode, it's the Fresh from Florida 250 and the United Rentals 300, both from the Daytona Motor Speedway. And we'll start with the Truck Series, as we always do. One of our favorite series out there. Like I said, the Fresh from Florida 250, set for 100 laps around this 2.5 mile paved track for 250 miles. If you're unfamiliar with who is now in the Truck Series, we go through all of that. Go back and listen to the episode where we talk about driver changes, because we covered quite a bit of ground. There's a lot of different drivers now in these trucks, and even more, Cody, because everybody's trying to make this Daytona race, even though it's a Truck Series and not the Daytona 500. Everybody still wants to be in Daytona.
Yeah, plenty of people trying to make this one, Rod. There's 38 entries, 36 spots. They will qualify on Friday and then race on Friday evening. So, maybe some of these Spencer Boyds and longer shot type guys, you wait to bet in case they don't make the race. But notable drivers in this: Michael McDowell, going to be in the 07 for Spire Motorsports. Of course, he races for them in the Cup Series now. They've got him entered here, former Daytona 500 winner. Justin Haley is going to be in the 7 for Spire Motorsports. Of course, he's a former Daytona winner in both the Cup and Xfinity Series. So they're going to do those. Sort of looking through the list here, got a lot of changes, which we sort of addressed on the offseason. Frankie Muniz, Rod, is Malcolm in the middle. He's back. He's going to be full-time in that 33 truck this year, so that'll be exciting to see. And then Parker Kligerman is entered in this one in the 75 truck. He's returning to that truck after taking off. Last year didn't run that truck because he was running full-time in Xfinity, I think the last 2 years, I guess. But now he's retired from full-time competition, and focus more on the TV stuff, but is still going to be making select starts. So this will be one of them. And I think that pretty much covers all of the special entries besides your full-time crew.
That is that's right. And so again, as we say, this is Daytona. It's a short race. It's full of action. There's still all of the draft racing that you expect on a super speedway. So anybody can and will be in play. Just like Cody said, though, got to pay attention, because with this, we don't know, and we're not going to know until very, very close to the race time. So you got to keep your eyes open if you're going to bet on this Truck Series, especially this weekend. So, well, Cody, I think we need to launch right into it. We've got a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover, and not a whole lot of time to do so. So there's really no huge news.
This will save us from the one more thing, Rod, that was brought up. Every time you say, let's get to the bets, Cody says, just one more thing, Rod. No more one more things today. Let's get to the bets.
Let's get to the bets. All right, Cody, let's start out our betting card with the Truck Series. Where are we starting first?
Yeah, Truck Series, Rod, I'm pretty much just going longer shots on just about everything. It's sort of watered down near the top, as they've done this season with all three series, really, for Daytona. We're not getting all of the great options that we've gotten in the past. So keeping it lighter, going with longer shots, hoping to hit some big stuff. But Tanner Gray, that's the guy I'm starting with. Top 5, 6-1. This is a great, great price for Tanner Gray. He is the only Gray brother in the trucks now. Taylor, of course, has moved on to the Xfinity Series. But Tanner has 5 starts here, Rod. The last 3 of those starts, 4th, a 2nd, and a 15th place finish. So 2 of those 3 inside of the top 5 there. Also finished 8th at Atlanta a couple of seasons ago. So not, Truck Series, a lot of these guys in Xfinity too, as we get into those, don't have extensive backgrounds with a million starts where we can go through all these statistics. But I've seen enough from Tanner, especially recently, especially on this track with 2 top 5s in the last 3 starts, and you're still getting him at 6-1. Absolutely love that for Tanner Gray. So give me him to get a top 5. And then, Rod, Spencer Boyd, I sort of mentioned him at the top there. Let's see if he qualifies into this race. But if he does make it into the race, he is really, really good. He's got 5 starts here, Rod. A 5th place finish, an 11th place finish, 13th and 19th, and a 4th place finish. That 5th place finish just came last year in this very 76 car. So it's, his own team, this Freedom Racing or whatever. But it's been a strong truck. It can make the race. That, of course, is the key. But once he's in the draft, he's very, very good at it. He won in 2019. I think I had him 125-1 or something that day. It was a huge ticket. That was pre this show existing. But that's why I've loved Spencer Boyd ever since. Got a 7th place finish there in 21. And then again last year in this truck, a 10th place finish for Spencer Boyd. So he's a longer shot, 18-1 to finish in the top 5. He did so last year in this very race. He's done so another time at Daytona in his 5 starts. He's been close. Well, he did so when he won, obviously, at Talladega, and been close 2 other times. Love that for Spencer Boyd. Again, just if he makes the race.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because Spencer Boyd's one of those guys where we'll bring him up every once in a while, and in situations like this, and you sometimes forget how good Spencer Boyd's been in his career, and it's because he's not the young kid, he's not the kid with the flashy name or the flashy sponsors. It's just Spencer Boyd going out racing trucks like he's really good at doing. So
yeah, and that truck isn't wonderful, right? And that's why there is concern for it to not make the race, but once you get into the draft, we know that you throw that out the window and it doesn't matter. Probably not going to talk about Spencer Boyd at Las Vegas in a few weeks. Like, it just is likely he's not going to be our 80-1 long shot that wins there. But at a track like Daytona, he's always in the mix. So I like him.
Agreed. Speaking of being in the mix, a couple of names that are going to be in the mix all season long, and it starts with this week. Lane Riggs, Tyler Ankrum. We've talked a lot about Riggs. We've talked a lot about Ankrum and their potential for jockeying for a good, solid points finish at the end of the year, and in some cases, the championship at the end of the year. So I think it's going to start here at Daytona. What's funny is that in the Truck Series, it does string out a little bit single file more often than not at Daytona. It's not. There'll be some 2-wide racing. There'll be some 3-wide racing, but these guys are a little more content to roll around and be single file for a little bit. And it kind of lessens the craziness until maybe before the stage breaks, and then for certain at the end. So we'll see a lot of the familiar names at the top. And I think Lane Riggs, Tyler Ankrum are going to be 2 of those. So Caesars is not giving us straight up top 10s. They're just giving us combined top 10s. So I'm going to go ahead and take Lane Riggs, Tyler Ankrum, both to finish inside of the top 10. This is at plus 145 over on Caesars. I mean, look, if you look at Tyler Ankrum's finishes here, it's kind of rough. His average finish is 20.2, but look, he actually did lead 15 laps in 2023 and 16 laps in 2024. Like I said, he's in front. He finished 7th and 11th in those 2 races. I know only one of those is a top 10, but he did start 5th in 2024. This 18 truck that he was driving around, a really solid truck. He's going to be back in that 18 truck again this year. And he's got Chandler Smith, or not, I'm sorry, that's Lane Riggs that's got Chandler Smith as a teammate. But even still, Tyler Ankrum is going to be another strong truck. I got ahead of myself because Lane Riggs is going to have Chandler Smith as a teammate, a Cup Series or Xfinity Series guy, jumped in the Cup a couple times. But Lane Riggs, only 1 race at Daytona. Just like Cody said, there's not a huge book on guys at Daytona sometimes, especially in the Truck Series. He did have a DVP problem, finished 33rd in his only race in that 38 truck. Now he's in the 34. Still the same team, still the same pretty much setup, just slapping a different number on the side of the truck. I don't know that makes too much of a difference, but both of these guys, I think, are going to be competitive trucks all week long, all season long. So I feel no reason not to put them in the top 10. If they would have given us individual top 10 numbers, that'd have been fine, but they're combining them. So again, I think both of these guys are good to go for a top 10 finish. So plus 145, it's almost 2-1. I'll take it.
This is like when you take that request in at work and you're like, look, we could really use this extra thing. And they're like, well, you can have it, but in order to have it, we're going to combine it with something. So it's like, we got top 10s, but you got to get 2 of them in the top 10 instead of 1. Not complaining. We're getting there, right? We're getting closer. This is the first time we've ever seen anything top 10 in the Truck Series. So I will take it. I do like it. And then, yeah, Homer was asking too, did Riggs switch rides? He is still with Front Row in the same truck he was in. He's just in the 34 number, or he's in the 38 number rather. And then Chandler Smith, who's coming in and adding the additional team, is the one in the 30. Wait.
Chandler's in the 38. Riggs
that
is
was
in the
very
34.
confusing. Yes. Both on the Front Row team. Riggs is in the 34, Chandler in the 38. The numbers are flopped from the Cup Series, where the 34 is the main car. In the Truck Series, it's 38 anyways. Yeah. Same.
It's just, yeah, they're going to drive around.
Good luck figuring it out while they're out there.
You'll get it. By the end of the season, you'll know exactly where they're at. So, all right, we got more bets to get to, but I want to tell you first about Edge Boost. We are partnered up with Edge Boost with the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your cards denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. I don't understand why. Why are they making it so difficult for you to use your card wherever you want? It's your money. Free it up. And guess what? Edge Boost does exactly that. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money's safe. This card is FDIC insured. Best part, no credit check. Doesn't matter what your credit is. You can get this card. And just like everything else in this entire network, it is completely free. So go sign up today. Use the promo code SGPN so you can get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. I know I am using my Edge Boost rewards on this Lane Riggs and this Tyler Ankrum top 10 bet because I am convinced that both of them will be in the top 10. So I'll use my Edge Boost card to place that bet. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Let me tell you about MyBookie. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. Can't say that even once fast, let alone 3 times. MyBookie is your place to bet every single sport. Plus, you get props for every game and the live dealer casino. Plus, MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. It's easy deposit and lightning fast payout using crypto. You can head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Let's continue deeper down the betting card. Cody, what is next on your list?
Yes, next up for me, Rod, I'm going to start with the Timmy Hill top 5. Again, just kind of taking some stabs at some long shot top 5s here. 13-1 for Timmy Hill. Last year in this race, Rod, 8th place finish. Very close to getting you into that 5th spot. His other 3 starts in the Truck Series, 16th and 2 14th place finishes. So there at the end, he's making it to the end of these races. He's got a shot. Again, if you can be 8th, you can be 14th. You're not that far away from being inside the top 5 at the end of the day. 8th place finish in Talladega in 2023, 8th place in Atlanta that year as well. So he's been very close. If you go to the Xfinity Series at Daytona, he's got 12 starts, 5 top 10 finishes, including a 2nd and 3rd place finish. He's been a strong guy there. And then Dos Flacos reaching into the dock for us. Next up for Timmy Hill, Rod, top finishing Toyota, 16-1. I'm going to take that along with Justin Carroll to be the top finishing Toyota at 50-1. Again, targeting Toyota because it is the smaller of the manufacturers in this truck race. There's only 8 Toyotas in this race. You take 2 of them with Hill, with Carroll, and now you've only got to beat 6 other guys. Corey Heim, he's obviously the big dog, right? We know Corey Heim, but he's not immune from getting caught up in a wreck. Should Justin Carroll beat Corey Heim anywhere, anytime? No. But he can at Daytona, and that's what's good about it, right? You've got William Sawalich. Not been impressed with what we've seen so far. You got Tanner Gray. I talked him up earlier. If he has a good day, you're probably going to be fine with that anyways. But what if he gets caught up in things? Stuart Friesen, Gio Ruggiero, and then Toni Breidinger is the other Toyota in this race. So for the Carroll part of things, no super speedway starts, Rod. Don't know much about him. He's 50-1 in a group of 8. That's why I'm betting on him. And I think don't overthink it. There's really no reason to. Again, let's make sure that he makes the race. But if he makes it, 6 of those Toyotas get wiped out in one crash. Suddenly now he's only got to beat one other Toyota. Maybe something goes wrong there. I mean, it's not a crazy scenario for him to finish 25th and still be the top finishing Toyota. And that's what can happen with these type of bets. It's 50-1 for a reason, but it's definitely not impossible for it to hit. So Timmy Hill, top 5, Timmy Hill, top Toyota, and Justin Carroll, top Toyota as well.
Well, and what's crazy is that, again, on these particular tracks altogether, the manufacturers tend to run in packs anyways. So, yes, if you are the last Toyota in that line of Toyotas, everybody else crashes in front of you, you manage to duck out. Well, you're the last Toyota left because everybody else is gone. And we've seen it before. We've seen entire manufacturer groups pretty much wiped out in one round. So, yeah, it's not uncommon to see that. So I think taking the longer shot is the best medicine in this one. So, yeah, it's not somebody you're probably ever going to bet on again, unless we're at another super speedway and they're in it. But yeah, I think this is a good call on your part. Speaking of Toyotas and speaking of Toni Breidinger, listen, she is top 5 at 10-1, right? So plus 1,000 for Toni to be a top 5 truck. And here's the deal. Look at her teammates. I mean, she's got William Sawalich out there. She's got Corey Heim as one of her teammates. She's got Tanner Gray. She's got the Reggiano. I mean, those are some solid running mates. And if we think Corey Heim's going to be right around the front of this racetrack, where do you think that 5 truck is going to be? Probably right there in tow with her
Have you seen the paint scheme on that truck, Rod? She's got the raising canes with flames. It's a very beautiful, beautiful looking truck.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah. And look, I'm actually
it's a fire paint scheme, if you will.
No, listen, and honestly, like I said, with that cast of characters that she's got around her, this particular racetrack obviously rewards you for having good drafting partners. And she doesn't have a whole lot of experience in the truck series. She's only got 4 career truck series starts, but one of them was at Kansas. She got a 15th place finish there. Not bad, right? For a 24th place start, she got a 15th place finish. 24th at Gateway in 2023, 17th at Nashville. Some pretty solid starts for somebody who was just making her truck series debuts. Last year, not very good at Daytona. She got a 27th place finish when she was driving the 1 truck. But, again, that was her first super speedway start. I'm sorry, but there's nothing out of ARCA that can get you ready for a Daytona race in a truck series truck. So that was her learning process. And now, again, she's got all these great teammates around her. A top 5, I would love a top 10 at 5-1. If we could get that, I would love that. I would hammer the hell out of that one. Top 5 is where we're at. And at 10-1, I think that's fine. But yeah, come on, give me a top 10 at 5-1. That's my wheelhouse.
We'll get there, Rod. We'll get there someday. We're getting closer. All right, outrights for me, Rod. I'm going to hit some of the same guys I just talked about. Spencer Boyd, 175-1. Are you fucking kidding me? He's won before on a super speedway. This is atrocious. I don't even wait to see if he makes the race. Just go bet it now. If it gets void or, if you lose because he doesn't make the race, who cares? 175-1. You've got to have that. Timmy Hill at 80-1. Again, 2nd place, 3rd place finishes in Xfinity, even a step up from this. Been good in the trucks as well. Love that. Tanner Gray, 35-1. Talked about him earlier as well. 4th, 2nd place in 2 of his last 3 Daytona starts. That is pretty solid. And then, Rod, our guy, Parker Kligerman, 14-1. What are they doing with Parker Kligerman at this number? 14-1. 7 starts here in the trucks. 3rd and 5th finishes in 2 of the last 4 here. He's got 4 top 15 finishes in those 7 starts. Talladega, he's been top 10 in the last 2 times he's been there. He's also won twice at Talladega. 5 for 8 inside of the top 10. Xfinity here at Daytona, he's just 3rd place in the fall race in that. 3 top 5 finishes in 7 starts. Parker Kligerman is a super speedway ace. He's very, very good in this truck. He only shows up to tracks where he is going to compete. This is the type of track where he competes. Love Kligerman at 14-1.
I just love Kligerman anyways. I know that he's winding down his racing career. So when he pops into a car here and there or a truck here and there, yeah, it's definitely fun to see him go. And I don't know, when's the last time he's actually ran a truck race, Cody? I'm trying to remember the last time he actually ran.
I think it was might have been 3 years ago. I can pull it up as you talk here, but it might have been 3 years ago because the last years he drove that 48 full time. Maybe 2 years ago he did. I'll look while you're talking about your outrights.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to watch him in there. My outright, I'm only picking one. I got one dagger for this one, and it's Grant Enfinger at 12-1. Look, not to say that none of the other guys that are up at the top can end up getting it done. I know Corey Himes all over the place. I know we got all of these guys that are up there in the favorites board, but I don't know what it is about Grant Enfinger, but I really do like him to win this race. He did it in 2020. Since then, it's been an 11th place finish in 2021, 29th in 2022, 5th place in 2023, 17th place last year. But we also talked about the fact that Grant Enfinger really came on strong toward the end of last season. And I think that momentum for that 9 team was it was great for them to just study up and get ready for this year. And he's going to be a contender, right? We know Eckes is out of the picture now, and we know that it's going to be pretty much him, Heim, Chandler Smith. They're all going to be jockeying for the championship by the end of the season. And, you know, that 9 team, I think they see an opening. And what better way to get into that than winning again, for having Grant Enfinger win again at Daytona and start the season off with a win. He did have a runner-up finish in 2019, a 6th place finish in 2018. So he's not a stranger to the front of the pack here at this particular track. And I think if you're giving me 12-1 on a guy, or is it 12-1, 13? Yeah, 12-1 on a guy that I know is going to be running inside of the top 5 toward the end of the race, sometimes that's all you need to be. And if you're the 3rd or 4th guy in line and you decide to pull out and just try to run the outside or inside or whatever line's moving faster, you know, all it takes is for you half a lap to get to the front. And I think Grant Enfinger is obviously skilled enough to be able to do that. So I just think 12-1 is kind of a misprice for a guy like Grant Enfinger who can get this done.
Yep, hard to argue that. I mean, he's been really good everywhere. And he's shown some prowess on the super speedways. Veteran driver, that's always, you know, something that's helpful for a lot of guys, is guys who have more experience, especially in these lower series. He's been doing it a lot longer than a lot of these people have. So if he can stay out their way, or they can stay out of his way, either one could work out well for him. Rod Parker Kligerman did have 7 starts, 8 attempts, but 7 starts 2 years ago, 2023, in the Truck Series, including a 9th place finish at Talladega. So there you go. Love some Parker Kligerman. And a couple guys in the chat. Dos Flacos mentioning Raja. Homer also mentioning Raja. Love them both this weekend and the season. I know we talked about him in some season-long stuff. Looked at him this week. Didn't find anything I loved on him. But, you know, a couple of weeks we get to Las Vegas. We hit him 80-1 last year at Las Vegas. I don't think we're probably going to get that again this year, Rod. But might find a way to get in on him. Who knows?
Yeah, highly doubt we get 80-1 on Raja Caruth.
Yes, and shout out to Old Fashioned Football as well. Hey, fellas. Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Hi, Justin. Are we betting Jack Wood this weekend? That's what Old Fashioned wants to know. I mean,
yes, honorable mention. Bet on Jack Wood. That's just, yeah, might as well. Why not?
That's the standard answer for all of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Just bet Jack Wood and be happy with it. So, all right. Well, then, that was it for the Truck Series. We will move over to the Xfinity Series in just a second. But first, allow me to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. And look, here's the deal. The one commandment that we have on Super Speedways is always fade Kyle Larson. Yesterday, we gave out a bunch of our favorite Underdog Fantasy picks for this race. But one of those included Kyle Larson. 7.5 was his projected finishing position. Take the worst then and run. Don't look back and just hammer that till your finger breaks. So we're going to, all of our lineups pretty much are going to have that on there. And yours can too if you sign up now with the promo code RACESGPN. Claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. SGPN's partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. You can build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you can even have Rhythm build a model for you. NFL picks, NFL props from last season, college basketball, NBA, Rhythm has it all. I'm telling you right now, Rhythm helped me get to the bottom of Saquon Barkley rushing yards. I took the under. Let me tell you, it worked, and it will work for you. You just got to make the rhythm the rhythm model tell you exactly what it wants to tell you. But you can sign up now for Rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Shout out to our guy Rye Cape checking in over in the chat. What up, Rye?
What's up, Rye? Good to see you, my friend. Man, I love this. Is like when everybody, it's like a high school reunion, but you like everybody that shows up. When the first week back to this, like oh man, I missed you so much. Because at a high school reunion, you're just kind of like, yeah, I remember you used to pick on me a lot. And now, oh, you like me now? Oh, cool. I don't like you at all. So, no, just kidding.
So this
sorry.
is nothing like that, is what you're saying.
Well, I was getting like lost in my own psychoses. So I'm sorry, guys. You guys aren't my therapists. You don't need to hear all of that. But, all right, we are now moving over to the Xfinity portion of this, where we are set at the United Rentals 300 for 120 laps around this 2.50 mile paved track for 300 miles. Cody, this will be just as fun as the rest. It's an action-packed, shorter race, so lots to be done in a little bit of time.
Yeah, and I believe the same guys won this race 3 years in a row now, Rod. So
you think?
That's actually very crazy for Daytona, and that's why Austin Hill's top 5 is minus 230, as Joe Flacco points out. Don't bet that.
Yeah, please don't bet that. Oh, and so I forgot to mention too, the trucks only get one crack at this every year, right? The Xfinity Series and Cup Series, they go twice a year, but the trucks only get one crack.
Yeah, that's a great point. The trucks do just come the one time in February. That's it. They don't come back a second time, but these other series do. So you do get a little bit deeper on that, Rod. Let's start off with some fast pasta. Top 5, 6-1. While they've watered down a few things this weekend, they've left us some good stuff on the board, and this is one of those things. Anthony Alfredo to finish inside of the top 5, 6-1. He just finished 8th place here in the fall of 2023, 7th place here in February of 2022. So he's been really close a couple times recently. Talladega, 3 top 6 finishes in his 7 starts there. And then last year, 7th place at Atlanta, 4th place at Michigan. Michigan's not a super speedway. What are you talking about? They did run the super speedway package only in the Xfinity Series there. And it raced like a drafting track, right? Like an Atlanta, but bigger, because Michigan's bigger than Atlanta is, right? So more closer to a Daytona type of thing, and a 4th place finish there for Mr. Alfredo. Talked about him a little bit on the Cup Series show a 2 days ago, so make sure you go back and check that out as well. But pasta, he's fast and tasty at Daytona, Rod. So I'm in on his top 5, 6-1. Then we're going to go over to the top Toyota market again here in the Xfinity Series. And really, it's the same story. If you've noticed, all 3 series I've gone to Toyota because it's just such a small manufacturer that it is just groups. And even more so in the Xfinity Series because there's only 6 Toyotas entered into this race, Rod. So you don't have too many of them. So you take 2 of them, now you only got to beat 4 other guys. And I like those odds. So give me Brandon Jones. Yeah, that's right, friends. We're back on Brandon Jones, plus 310. And then give me Dean Thompson at 6-1. That's right. Our guy Dean Thompson has moved up into the Xfinity Series this season. You're not getting crazy long odds like Justin Bonsignor is 7-1. He's the longest of the odds here for these guys. But here's your lineup. Brandon Jones is actually the favorite at plus 310. But then Ryan Truex is in this race. William Sawalich, Taylor Gray, Dean Thompson, Justin Bonsignor. So not really anybody who just like screams at you, stands out. Truex has had his shots, right, and he's been good in this car. But Brandon Jones has 2. 9th place in this race last season, 5 top 5 finishes here. Atlanta, he's got 3 top 15s and 6 starts as the quote-unquote plate track that it is now, right? 2nd place at Talladega twice, 4 top 10 finishes there. And all of those came in his JGR days. It's crazy. Brandon Jones, of course, moved back to JGR after being at JRM. You look at a lot of his stats, they were a lot better when he was at JGR. So love that for him. And I'm fully back on the Brandon Jones train this year. So Anthony Alfredo, top 5 at 6-1. And then in the top Toyota market, Brandon Jones plus 310, Dean Thompson plus 600.
I can get behind the Anthony Alfredo one. Brandon Jones, though, we still have beef, him and I, when he couldn't pull through in a JRM car. So
he's back home where he belongs now, and things will be great. And I'd argue he's the lead driver over there at JGR because they got a pretty weak lineup this year, Rob.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one because all my love now is on JRM, and so it always has been, and it will be even doubly now, to the point where I'm going to take one of their drivers to finish in the top 10, but I'm also going to pair because, again, we don't get straight up top 10s. We get paired top 10s, which is fine. It's a good start. Like you said, it's a start. I will take Ryan Truex and pair him with Carson Kvapil, top 10. Both of those will get you plus 250 in those already preordained Caesars double top 10 matchups. So, yeah, I mean, look, for Carson Kvapil, obviously not a huge book on this guy, right? I mean, his only real super speedway start was Michigan in the 2024 season. He finished 26th in that, but he did start he had a 27th place finish at Talladega, but he ended up crashing there too. So a couple of super speedway starts for him, not all that great, but we also know that one car is going to be lightning fast again this year. He's got great teammates, I think, right? Justin Allgaier is up in that mix somewhere. We know how good he can be at super speedway. So he's really in a good position. And a top 10 is all we need out of a JRM car, which you should expect if you're not Brandon Jones on a week-to-week basis for these guys. And I think he's going to carry that torch. Ryan Truex would be the add-on to this one, right? This is the one where you have to add on. However, he did get a win at Daytona last year. He actually won in the fall in Daytona, a 28th place finish in the Joe Gibbs 20. I know it's not in the Sam Hunt car that he's doing now, but, in 2022 in the spring race at Daytona, he had a 12th place finish in a Sam Hunt number 26. So a couple of spots outside of the top 10. If you can finish 12th, you can finish 10th in Daytona. I truly believe that he's got obviously we know he's got the talent to finish inside of the top 10. Just does he have the speed in the car to get there? On a super speedway, Sam Hunt cars, yes, can get there. So I'm okay with him being in the top 10. I really, truly believe that Carson Kvapil is going to be in the top 10. So at plus 250, you put them both together. That's almost 3-1. That's good. That's good odds right there.
Yeah, I'm not really super in love with either of these guys. Truex, I do. Obviously, he won here last year. Yeah, it's a step down in equipment, but again, that equalizes out at a place like Daytona. So not so worried about that. Kvapil, we'll have to see how he does, right? He's kind of getting thrown into the fire here, so we'll see. I did want to go back. We didn't, I guess, talk about the entry list. There is 41 entries for 38 spots in this. Almost no notable drivers. Like the only one really is Ryan Truex, and he is in the what number is Truex?
24.
24. Yes, he is in the 24 for Sam Hunt. Really, I mean, and there's been a lot of driver changes. So again, I can listen to off-season pods or check out the entry list for all the updated stuff because a lot of drivers switched and a lot of musical chairs in the Xfinity Series this season. Somebody who didn't have musical chairs in the Xfinity series this season, Rod, Leland Honeyman. That's right. We're going over to the Honeyman. Leland Honeyman, 18-1 for a top 5 finish. Rod, he just finished 9th place the last time they were on this track in the fall. He finished 17th place at Atlanta last year. And then in the 2 races at Talladega, he had a 14th and a 4th place finish. So on a super speedway last year, he got a 5th top 5 finish. Then he got a top 9 finish on this track the most recent time they were here. And you're getting him at 18-1. That's where there's just a lot of value in something like that, because Leland Honeyman could just be Leland Honeyman and he doesn't do much. And okay, it was 18-1, but he could finish 4th place at Talladega. He could finish 9th place at Daytona. That's what you're looking for in these types of bets. So Leland Honeyman top 5, that's 18-1. And then Rod, do you happen to have your special thing for this next part?
You are absolutely right. I'm ready for it. Here we go. And it's time for
That's right. Cody's Car Lift. Welcome in, friends. Ryan Sieg. You thought we were going to come to a super speedway and not have a Ryan Sieg car lift. You were severely mistaken. Top finishing Ford 4-1. And actually in this series, there's hardly any Fords really, especially of note. So love Sieg at that 4-1. Top 5 finishes plus 450. Top 3 is 9-1. 28-1 to win. They've picked up on it, Rod. They've brought the number down. Doesn't matter. We're still taking it. Ryan Sieg is really, really, really good on super speedways. He's been so close to getting that first career win. Could come at any point. And yes, we are acknowledging Sieg. You're welcome, Dos Flacos. Again, good timing on your part. Last 4 finishes rather at Daytona. He had a 22nd place sprinkled in there, but otherwise 8th, 6th, 5th place finishes from him. That's inside the top 5. We're very close to it. 5 top 5 finishes in his career, 9 top 10s here. Second place at Talladega last year. He was so close to getting that win, Rod. And like just more competitive on a week-to-week basis with Ryan Sieg, right? It wasn't just the super speedways. We saw him almost win. I think it was Texas where he had the super close loss as well, and got that second place. But only in his last 8 starts, I guess, at Talladega, top 5 in 5 of them. So he has been really, really good on super speedways. Ryan Sieg is always an auto bet when we get to the super speedways. So riding the Ryan Sieg car lift in addition to the Leland Honeyman top 5.
The car lift is, and I love the graphic for it. Like I said, if you're not over on YouTube, check it out because I did kind of put together a graphic for it. I probably think it may be a little too long, but whatever, it's fun. But yeah, I'm with you on this one. Obviously, we know we love some Ryan Sieg. He's always in the mix. Like every time they bring him up, it's like, oh, and here comes Ryan Sieg. So just hoping at the end of the day, it's all the way up. That how high can that lift go? I guess we'll find out. We know how high the lift goes on Sheldon Creed, though. And
it's broken, Rod. It doesn't go any higher than second.
No, like it literally will go all the way till the first click before it's said and done. But yeah, second place, the cap for Sheldon Creed, pretty much the ceiling and the floor in most races. So we're going to take his top 5 number. I'm not going to take his top 3 number. I would love to, but I think giving him a couple extra spots to mess up, especially the first year in this 00 now. He is the lone representative of the Haas factory team. And yeah, I mean, listen, this is going to be big things for him because he's all alone. And Sheldon Creed, top 5 plus 210. Let me read you off Sheldon Creed's finishes at Daytona International Speedway over the last 3 years. Let's go 3 years back. 3 races back. In the fall of 2022, 8th place finish. Okay, that's not top 5, but still. Second place in 2024 at the Daytona, at the spring race at Daytona. Second place in the fall of 2023. So second, 8 in his last 3 races at Daytona. I mean, look, I get it. He's not in the same equipment that he was in before, but it doesn't matter. He was in Childress equipment in the 2, right? And he ended up finishing second. He was in Joe Gibbs equipment in the 18. He still finished second, and he finished 8th in that Gibbs car also in the fall. The 00, not bad with Cole Custer in it last year, right? Obviously, we know that he picked up a win or two, a win or two. He actually finished second place in a few places. So top 5 finishes for Cole Custer in quite a few of those races. In fact, I mean, we predicted that Cole was going to win 15,000 races by the end of it, but he ended up winning 2, 14 top 5s, 23 top 10s, and 26 races. So yeah, Cole Custer had himself a fine season in that 00, average finish of 10.5. And like I said, we know that Sheldon Creed is the king of the second place finish. So we are going to, where was that? Where we were talking about fine Sheldon Creed it is. Somebody brought him up, but yeah, definitely Sheldon Creed it is. Oh, Dos Flacos. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take Sheldon Creed's top 5, especially at plus 210. I mean, you're more than doubling up your money in this instance. So this is where you print money with a Sheldon Creed top 5. I don't care if he's in the 00, the 18, the 2, the 000, doesn't matter. Sheldon Creed's going to finish second in this race.
Yeah, I love this bet. I was going to take it if you didn't have it. So I'm glad that you got it in there. And I'm not concerned like him switching over to Haas. I think the Haas factory car in the Cup Series is going to suck. I do not think that in the Xfinity Series. I think they're going to pick up right where they left off, especially Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed, 2 very good and experienced guys at this point. In those cars, I think that they're going to have a great time there. So continuing on the Creed thing, Rod, he's actually my first of the outrights, 13-1 for Sheldon Creed. I know he's never won before, but you got to win sometime. Maybe this is the week. He's just been really, really good at the super speedways. 8th and 2 second places in the last 3 races at Daytona. Like you mentioned, that's pretty good. 4 top 8 finishes in 7 starts here. Again, also very good. 4th place at Atlanta last year. Another great finish there. And then Talladega in the last 3. 4th, 6th, 2nd. He is in the mix each and every time we come to super speedways. And I love that for Sheldon Creed. I'm also going with Brandon Jones at 20-1, Rod. Talked about him a little bit earlier. Just a guy that I can't quit. He's done really well for me on super speedways over the years. And I'm going to continue to go back to that well. Kind of the lead guy over there at Joe Gibbs, kind of the lead Toyota. I think he's going to have a strong day returning home where he belongs. Fast pasta, Anthony Alfredo, 35-1. We talked about how much we love him. He just gets it done, so much so that he gets the opportunity to drive, or at least tonight he'll attempt to qualify into the Daytona 500 as well in that Beard car because of how good he is on super speedways. So 35-1, I like him. And then Jordan Anderson, a name we haven't talked about yet, but 50-1 for him to win. Jordan Anderson, another guy I always target when he's available at super speedways, driving in that car that he owns. He puts a lot of work in on that team, and it's kind of the same story as the Sieg thing, right? Where these guys who was it Brandon Brown, I think was his name. He was a guy that used to be an auto bet on the super speedways, and it was the same thing. Blood, sweat, and tears these guys pour into these teams just was great, and helps them out a lot, especially on these tracks where they have an opportunity to be as good as these big teams. So I like that for Anderson. 2 races last year at Daytona, 6th and 4th place. He's 50-1, and he was in the top 6 in both races. I like that. 2nd place in his last 2 starts at Daytona in the Truck Series as well. So he's been really, really strong on speedways at Daytona in particular. Give me Jordan Anderson at 50-1.
You know, the funny part about a guy like Jordan Anderson is there's going to be you're in 2 camps, right? You're in the I know about Jordan Anderson camp or the who's Jordan Anderson camp. And so I love that when you listen to this, we bring you into the you already knew Jordan Anderson's name camp at the end of it. So yeah, I love that. Fast pasta, can't argue with you there. Brandon Jones, again, he and I were not talking, so I'm okay with that. And then Creed, boy, how great would it be to win your first race at Daytona as a Sheldon Creed? Bring Haas Factory the glory that they'd consider. Laura wants to know if Creed will continue to be so consistent. Listen, for betting purposes, yes, we certainly hope so as well. All right, so listen. Like I do, I throw one lawn dart out into the lawn and see if it sticks, and that is Carson Kvapil, 25-1. We talked about him. Not an extensive history on super speedways, not a super successful history on super speedways for Carson, but look, we know the one car with Sam Mayer behind it was fast last year. Obviously a great year for him. No, not really great on super speedways though with Sam Mayer. Hopefully Kvapil can turn that around. Where was it? Were I talking about Kvapil? You say, yes, we're talking about Carson Kvapil. 36th place finish for Sam Mayer in the Daytona race in the fall. Atlanta, he actually did get an 11th place finish. That was fantastic for him there. But then you go down to the Michigan race, 37th place finish for him at Michigan, 13th at Daytona again. You know, it was just kind of up and down, 38th at Talladega. So the one car has been inconsistent with Sam Mayer behind the wheel. Hopefully Carson Kvapil can bring balance to the force. And again, it's JRM. I'm hitching my wagon fully to JRM this year again. And they've got the strongest, I think they got all the strongest drivers in the stable right now. Like you're talking about, JGR sort of dropped off a little bit. JRM is beefed up. So I think they're going to run the table this year. And all those cars are going to be at the front of the pack. I think it's just all the drafting partners. And if Kvapil decides he wants to be the first guy to peek his head out and catch the right wave, that's all it takes to win this race, man. So, yeah, Carson Kvapil 25-1, I think is a good deal.
You're really calling your shot on Kvapil this year, Rod, and I wish
I didn't mean to. I didn't wake up and choose Kvapil. I think Kvapil just...
You can't choose who you fall in love with, Rod.
Nope. Sometimes you can't, and you can't hurry love. I'm just Babe Ruth over here pointing out to the field stadium saying Carson Kvapil's going to hit him home run this week. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next week I'll be singing a different tune at Atlanta, but we'll hopefully get Carson Kvapil into victory lane and cash all those tickets.
There you go.
So, all right. That's those are our cards. I know it all went quickly, but that's it for this week. So get out your pen and paper. It's time to go over our bets for both the Xfinity and the Truck Series. We'll start with the Truck Series. Cody started you out with Tanner Gray as a top 5 truck at 6-1. I put both Lane Riggs and Tyler Ankrum inside of the top 10 at plus 145. Cody said Spencer Boyd would be a top 5 truck at 18-1. I'm giving old Toni Breidinger the top 5 treatment at 10-1 in her first time in the 5 truck. Cody's got Timmy Hill as the top Toyota at 16-1 and a top 5 truck at 13-1. Give me Grant Enfinger to win this race as well at 12-1. Justin Carroll for Cody as the top Toyota at 5-1, 50-1 rather. And then Parker Kligerman is his outright 14-1, Tanner Gray 35-1, Timmy Hill at 80-1, Spencer Boyd at 175-1. And then we move on to the Xfinity Series, where Cody started you off with Anthony Alfredo at 6-1. I gave you Truex and Kvapil as the top 10, inside the top 10 at plus 250. Tell you what, guys, we just moved into some new digs. I'm trying to get my footing on this one. So give me a second while I remember where I put the couch in a second. Cody gave you Brandon Jones as the top Toyota at plus 310. He also gave you Dean Thompson as a top Toyota at 6-1. I said Sheldon Creed would be a top 5 car at plus 210. Cody said Leland Honeyman would be a top 5 car at 18-1, and then rode the Ryan Sieg car lift all the way to the top Ford 4-1, top 5 4.5-1, top 3 9-1, and to win 28-1. I said that Carson Kvapil at 25-1 would win, while Cody countered with Sheldon Creed 13-1, Brandon Jones 20-1, Alfredo 35-1, and Jordan Anderson at 50-1 to win the race at Daytona.
Rod,
got all that.
We got it all in. That was great. I got the font to be small. I do know how to talk, actually. I guess I picked up my stumbling from you there. Even though we crammed both into the same one. So I do like that. TK asking, no RCR. Look, dude, they're just hard to fucking. I mean, Austin Hill is minus 8,000 for a top 5 finish. He's minus 4,000 to win the race. So I know he's won it 3 times in a row. The chances, this is like the Chiefs. The chances of him winning it 4 times in a row are just not good. And I can't justify that low of a price on him. And Love you like too, but his odds aren't great. So
we've said it a million.
Nothing against the team. Too. They should be good. It just the numbers aren't there.
Yeah, because we're here to give you betting picks. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not going to surprise us at all if Austin Hill goes out and wins the race. It's not going to surprise us at all if Jesse Love gets a 3rd place finish or a win. But I mean, betting on it, there's other ways to win better money, and that's top 5 bets and some longer shots, right? That's you know the drill, TK. You know, we love RCR, but we can't give you any bets on him because, first of all, it's too obvious, and the books know it's too obvious.
All right, Rod, I want to do this super quick because we're men of the people and the people are asking here and in the Discord. So real quick, the duels tonight, if you want to place some bets. In duel number 2, I'm going to do this backwards because I really like these plays. In duel number 2, Brad Keselowski 750, Chris Buescher's 10-1. They're in the same duel together. Nobody works better at super speedways together than these two guys do. I say you don't have to worry about the wrecks. There might be some wrecks tonight because there's so many desperate open cars, but it's going to be less chaotic than the Daytona 500 is, right? I think these two guys find each other quickly because they're starting back to back. So they're just going to link up right away and just drive off with this thing. So they've got top 3 odds. I'm going to take both of them. Keselowski plus 200 and Buescher plus 300. Those are the guys I'm betting on in this duel to get it done. LaJoy is 45-1. Just honorable mention there, Rod. If you're so inclined, like I usually am, you got any thoughts on duel 2 there?
On duel 2, I have got so what I want to do, I want to take there's actually a grid position of the winner, and I'm going to go ahead and say 1 to 3 is at plus 240. But if you want to get spicy, 15 plus is plus 750. So if you want to really get all super spicy on that one, you can say that the winner of the duel is going to come from way in the back. So that's what I like.
Hey, you got some of those open cars farther back there. Certainly could be the case. I think duel 1 is definitely tougher. Austin Dillon, I know JDK had brought him up before, 18-1. I don't mind that. JDK was saying, or Dos Flacos was saying he likes Haley, which Haley he's 12-1. Man, I almost feels like Busch and Elliott could just kind of link up and drive off with this, but they're chalky picks. I don't know.
AJ Allmendinger is 8-1 for a top 3 finish in this.
Yeah, but I don't think he goes as hard, and there's not really a reason for him to go as hard in this race. So I don't know that I love that either.
Justin Allgaier, 5.5-1 for a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to push hard, right? He has to race his way in, and he said he made comments today about how he doesn't think he'll ever be able to return to the track based on what he's seen on social media if he doesn't get Junior into the 500. So he's got the pressure, right? Give me Bubba Wallace, plus 850. Really good super speedway guy. Maybe he just gets up to the front there and kind of, he's got Briscoe there too. They can, Briscoe should pull out of the race and not really do too much, but him and Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, they could all work together with those Toyotas. You got Truex farther back there as well. So give me Bubba Wallace to win that one. And Chase Elliott at plus 750. I like both those two.
Duel 1, the under or the over 22.5 is set at minus 130. If you guys don't mind paying a little juice, kind of like that. So, all right. Well, then that'll be the end of that, guys. And you can find more in Discord. We'll throw some more out in Discord, I guess, as the evening wears on. Because how close are we to the duels?
We're one out. Well, depending on track prep, we're an hour away. I know the lightning hold was lifted while we were recording here, so they could proceed with pre-race ceremonies. It's a pretty big fucking track, though. So how long it takes them to get it dry based on the amount of water there was coming down, we'll see. So, but yeah, we're roughly an hour away. So get those bets placed now, and DFS too. I'll reshare those contests, but we've got a DFS contest for both duels up in the SGP group on DraftKings there. So I'll reshare those in the Discord if you want to get joined in those for $5 each.
Just give them all wet weather tires and full wets, and we'll send them out on the track for this one.
Maybe someday we'll have a just race in the rain Daytona 500.
That would be something.
Apologies, excuse me for my language.
You said it. We're gonna go out on that one.
Apologize for saying that fucking curse word. Gosh,
you said it. That's all right. We'll put you in the corner later. But until then, Cody, as we say goodbye and happy Thursday, happy race week to everybody. We'll wrap it up for the week and we'll send everybody on their way. We'll be back again on Tuesday with more cut picks for Atlanta. But in the meantime, let everyone know where they can find you out there in the world.
Yeah, follow me over on the X Rod at Husker_Zeeb. Tons and tons of stuff over there. Just going to continue to come out. So make sure you check it all out. Really greatly appreciate it. We're here. We're into the season. The Daytona 500 is days away. Go enjoy the duels tonight. Let's enjoy racing the next 3 days. We're back. Go win some money. Best of luck, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the about everything I got going on, whether it's here. Make sure you go check out the back road, Seth and Elliott. Actually, we had one last night. They're going to have one again tonight after the duels. So they're going to be talking more about everything now that things are shaping up, hopefully. But make sure you go check out last night's show. It's up on the IBT Media website. All right. Love you guys to death. We'll see you guys after the Daytona 500. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the race. And until next time, let's go racing and let it ride.